Hello and welcome to Crypto Weeklies. In this video, we will be discussing SUI and its latest price action. None of the content is financial advice. Let's get started. This is the SUI price color coded with risk levels available on cryptoweeklies.com. Link on the bottom of your screen. Let's start with why we are covering SUI today. Over the last 7 days, SUI has rallied by about 45%. Over the last 30 days, up by about 24%. Price at around $3. Market cap slightly under 10 billion, volume at around 2.7 billion, healthy activity. In terms of tokenomics, though, there is something to be desired over here. Only 32% of the max supply is in circulation. That might lead to some fluctuation between the price growth and the market cap growth. So if you look at the log scale chart of price, this is chart of price, which is essentially making a higher low structure. But again, if you look at the price in on January of 2025, price was at around $5. Now it's $3, again about 40% down from that level. But if you look at the market cap growth, again from 16 billion dollars to now at around $10 billion. So again, in kind of same proportion over the last 1 year. But if you toggle between the price and market cap, at least around here, you can see this is almost a straight line up with a minor correction in August of 2024, whereas price had a heavy dip in August of 2024. That means whenever newer token get released, the price gets dumped heavily, even though the market cap dumps slightly. That we evidenced in August when the price of 2024, when the price was at around market cap was at around 1.5 billion and the price was at around 60 cents. Again, the drop from price from $2 to 60 cents is almost if you calculate only 70% drop from that level. But market cap barely budged from 2.6 billion to 1.5 billion. So that means a billion lost over 2.5. So that means less than around 40%. So for a 40% drop in market cap, there was a 70% drop in price. So for that, we need to look at whenever again, not financial, whenever there are any major unlocks. Again, there was a unlock, a step function in the unlock schedule around this time period. Again, when we saw this dip around May to June of about 2024, and again that got reflected in price pretty soon at around August time. Now again, this is today. As of today, the token schedule is at around 30% or 32% released. In 2030 though, even in that 2030 phase, total unlock would be at around less than 5 billion. So again, not much token releases, especially the curve kind of flattens early March of 2026. That could be a key time if, let's say, if the 4-year cycle plays out where there is a bear market in 2026 with a stable circulating supply at that point in time and new releases towards the end of 2026. If you look at the 4-year cycle theory, that could bode well for SUI. Again, not financial advice, just looking at the historical cycles, how they operate, and what is some of the best time to DCA per this model. Again, coming back, SUI is not a new crypto or not an old crypto either. It's kind of released in 2023, so it has not witnessed a full bear market yet. So we don't know how low the prices could go in the bear market or how high the prices could go in the parabola of the bull run either. The first iteration that SUI kind of witnessed was the early January 2025 bull run. Back then the price of SUI was at around $5. Now early April was less than $2, and again we did make several videos related to SUI during that phase of the market cycle as well. You can see 4 weeks ago, 2 months ago, 6 months ago. You can see 2 months ago the price again in February of 2024 was at around $2.80, whereas the last video that we made related to SUI was 4 weeks ago. 4 weeks ago would be late March, early April of 2025. Again, back then price were in a very low risk level. So again, if you want to follow risk-based analysis for SUI, especially during the bottoms or any dip buying opportunity, you can please subscribe and give this video a like. Again, this is not financial advice, this is just risk-based analysis using polynomial regression function. This is the regression function to identify if the price of SUI is above or below the fair value. Per this analysis, price is still below the fair value per the regression based analysis. Fair value for SUI is at around $3.20. Price of SUI at this point in time is $3.03. So again, slightly below the fair value. You can see if you are more of a conservative investor or think that only to DCA when the price has significantly diminished its value from or deflected from the fair value, this dotted green line offers a one standard deviation bottom regression based residual for the fair value. That means whenever the prices are below the dotted green line, like they were back in June 2024, or fairly close to the dotted green line, like they were in early April, again 3 to 4 weeks before, that kind of signals a good entry point per this model. The opposite of this is, again, and you can use risk levels to, these are toggleable risk levels with your own hypothesis. Personally speaking, again, about around 20% risk or below 20% risk, that is between 0 and 0.2 risk. That's when DCA for a good or a top 20 altcoin makes some sense. Personally speaking, again, SUI by market cap is ranked number 11th. It has grown a lot in terms of market cap rank, so definitely warrants some attention in terms of its growth in the top 20. Has not witnessed a full bear market or a full bull market yet. So there we are. The opposite of this bottom finding pattern is a top finding pattern. Again, whenever the risks are elevated, the two standard deviation residual to the upside does provide, again, some sort of topping pattern, again, especially whenever the risks are getting overheated, that is above 50%, especially in this green territory between 0.5 and 0.6 risk. If the prices were to go to that risk level in time, in the future, with this slope of the regression fair value in an increasing function, the price at 50 to 60% risk per this model could be somewhere between $4.30 or roughly speaking $4.40 and $4.95. So roughly speaking $4.50 and $5. So that's the range forecasted by the model. That is about a 50% growth in the token price, with the current price at around $3. Again, you can see the current price as of yesterday closed at around $3. So if you are slightly more optimistic, the 60 to 70% may or may not tag the dotted red line, which is two standard deviation residual above the fair value, but it certainly comes closer than the green zone. So if between 50 to instead of between 50 to 60, if we look at between 60 to 70% risk, that is between roughly speaking $5 and $5.50 for SUI forecasted. If you are looking at price at the peak, that is two standard deviation peak, only 2.5% chance that the price go above this dotted red line is at around $6 as of today. So $6 SUI would be considered a peak, as was January 5th of 2025, when the price was $5.24, where the price was very close to a peak. Again, timing the exact peak is very hard to do and does not have that much of a utility than finding a range where the prices are kind of touching those peak, like this dotted red line and the proximity with the dotted red line, especially established through this color code, especially as they move towards, again, if you're higher risk tolerance between 70 to 80% risk, that takes the price between $5.50 to about $6 per this model. So that's where the price could be close to a 2x from the current price of from the current price of about $3. If we look at SUI from another perspective, the time weighted average perspective, this is again very key in the bear market, especially as we mentioned the token unlocks in 2026. This model would be more important at that point in time when the market has cooled off, like it did in August time period of 2024, as well as September, October of 2023. That was a cool off period. Again, if you want to know at a higher level whenever these kind of periods emerge where the risk in the market has kind of cooled off. This indicator doesn't help with this analysis. The bull market completion or risk levels, composite risk score of the crypto asset class, using top 100 cryptos all at once to identify what are the current risk levels. So as mentioned earlier, whenever the risks are less than 20%, or again less than, especially less than 10%, like they were back in September, October 2024, till from August till about September of 2024, risks were very low in the market. Also during the October 2023 time period, risk were less than 3%, at around close to 3%, at one point less than 3% on 13th of October 2023. So this tells the story in a pictorial view of the entire market using multiple indicators for the top 100 cryptos by market cap, such as volatility, alpha, beta, risk adjusted return, that is the Sharpe ratio, percent drawdown, year over year returns, to quantify one single metric, and also pictorially look at the historical analysis where we can estimate some sort of a bull market completion, where the again, even though this indicator said bull market over in 2021, and there was one more leg in November 2021, again back in May of 2021 market was definitely heated. This time around though, in December of 2024, when the market did kind of heat up, the risk level that we went to was at around 60%. Haven't seen any risk above 80%. That's where the color code shifts from orange to red. These are in increments of 20%. So for example, you're looking at the lowest risk band. This is between, again, the last time the risk went lower than 20%. We did come close to the 20% risk for the entire asset class, fairly close to that around April 8th of 2025, about 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago. Price was at around the risk was at around 20.63 or 0.206 risk level. So but we have started to heat up the market at around 29% completion. Again, this looks at the completion as of April 20th. Back then the completion was at around 25%, as the ticker over here says. Now it's at around 29%. If and when the risk level points to 100%, or close to 100%, around 80%, between 60 to 80 if you're more conservative like I am, or between 80 and 100%, that's when the market at a higher level is overheated. Coming back to SUI and the time weighted average price model, if that model and the overall model, the crypto peak value model, that this model is available under Crypto Weekly's over here peak value indicator, the model that we just saw. Coming back to SUI, if we look at the time weighted average price model, the current risk is at around this green zone, where the risk is roughly speaking 60%. This is a more conservative model, helps identify accumulation zone in the bear market. And also per this model, whenever the risks are darker shade of orange or red color, that's a great risk of time period. So for example, October 13th 2024, there was one orange dot. Again, there might be some false positives where the orange dot might not signal a end of a short term bull run, but signal or usher in an era of let's say parabolic or euphoria in the market. So again, everything should be taken in context. But in February 2024 and in October 2024, the deflection for SUI from the time weighted average price was substantial, also till about January 2025. Now the difference between the time weighted average price and the price has diminished quite a bit. At one point, less than 40-cent difference. The time weighted average price for SUI is at around $1.56. This level might be of some key importance in the bear market, where if, let's say, accumulating below this blue line in the bear market especially would provide a great accumulation zone, like it did from May 12, 2023 till about December mid of December of 2023. So going back to the simple moving average based model for SUI, the last model that we are discussing is this SMA model, which takes into consideration what is the price doing with respect to the 20-week simple moving average. Again, this model did signal a lot of risk off or low risk time period between early March till about mid-April of 2025. Right now the risk is at around 23%. You can see this model again, if we get rid of some of the intermediate colors on the risk levels, helps identify some of the decent time to enter as well as exit. Again, if the hypothesis is to enter when the risk is less than 20%, again these models can complement each other, the TWAP, the SMA and the DCA model that we discussed today. This model again, especially if we the time when the price is lower than 20% risk on the SMA, indicates a good accumulation area. Right now we did spend a lot of time as of yesterday in that risk zone. If let's say the opposite of that is whenever the prices are heating up, that 50 to 70% risk level, if they go to 0.5 and 7.7 risk, the price per this model for SUI could be between $4.80 and $5.36 or $5.40. So that's the forecast per the 20-week simple moving average based model. As a confluence of all the models, if we look at an estimated bull run target for SUI, estimating based on what the prices could do based on the regression or DCA model, time weighted average price, and SMA weighted risk at around 41%, estimated bull run peak at around $7, a 2.3x gain from the current price of about, roughly speaking, $3. And with that, I would like to conclude the video. Hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please give us a like and subscribe, and hope to see you again tomorrow. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye bye.